The Galactic Council's diplomatic vessel Harmony's Edge hung in the void like a crystal ornament, its translucent hull reflecting the distant stars. Inside, Ambassador Marjorie Chen stood before the observation deck, her hands clasped behind her back, watching the coordinates where humanity's representative was scheduled to arrive. "They're late," chirped Vulcan, the insectoid communications officer, his antennae twitching nervously. Marjorie smiled. "We're early. Humans are punctual about first contact." The council had debated for months whether to invite humanity into the galactic community. Earth was young, barely 3 centuries into space travel, but their diplomatic transmissions had been eloquent, peaceful, even eager. The council had extended an invitation, expecting a small delegation ship, perhaps a Corvette-class vessel with a crew of diplomats. Truce Hawkins, captain of the UN's Prometheus, checked his chronometer. 2 minutes until arrival at the rendezvous point. Around him, the bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency, their movements smooth despite the weight of history pressing down on them. "Sir, we're about to drop out of hyperstream," reported Lieutenant Vasquez. "Steady as she goes," Truce replied, his voice calm. "Let's make a good impression." What neither species understood was that good impression meant vastly different things to each culture. The Galactic Council had built their society on subtlety. Their ships were elegant, small, designed to slip through space like whispers. Weapons were miniaturized, conflicts resolved through economic pressure and social manipulation. They had forgotten what it meant to face an existential threat, what it took to claw your way up from a death world. Earth had not forgotten. The Prometheus translated into normal space exactly on time aboard Harmony's Edge. Every sensor simultaneously shrieked in alarm. The main view screen went white, then black, then began cycling through error messages faster than anyone could read. Velkos fell backward, his chair clattering across the deck. What is that?" someone screamed. Marjorie grabbed the edge of the console, her knuckles white. Through the observation window, she could see it with her own eyes, and her brain refused to process the scale. The UN's Prometheus was a Titan-class warship, 3 kilometers of armored hull bristling with weapon systems that could crack continents. Its engines burned with the light of captured stars, and its mass created a gravitational distortion that made the nearby space appear to ripple and fold. Point defense turrets covered every surface like scales on a dragon. Missile pods the size of buildings dotted its flanks. The main railgun, running nearly the entire length of the ship, could accelerate projectiles to relativistic speeds. It was not a diplomatic vessel. It was a monument to human stubbornness, a middle finger to entropy itself. Every species on Harmony's Edge felt it in their bones. Their scales, their chitinous exoskeletons, the primal recognition of an apex predator. The atmospheric processors couldn't keep up with the sudden spike in carbon dioxide as dozens of beings forgot to breathe. Sensors, ... Sensors are blind, Velkos whispered. The radiation, the gravity well, the sheer electromagnetic interference, we can't see anything past it. Marjorie forced herself to breathe. This was humanity's representative. This engine of destruction. A communication request flashed on the screen, somehow cutting through all the interference with ease. "Accept it," Marjorie commanded, her voice steadier than she felt. The view screen cleared, and Captain Truce Hawkins appeared. He was surprisingly young, with kind eyes and an easy smile. Behind him, the bridge of the Prometheus looked almost disappointingly normal crew members at stations. Soft lighting, even a potted plant in one corner. "Greetings from humanity and the United Nations of Earth," Truce said warmly. "I'm Captain Hawkins of the UN's Prometheus. I apologize for our tardiness. We had to drop velocity carefully to avoid any gravitational disruption to your vessel." Marjorie found her voice. "Captain, that ship, Truce glanced around his bridge, then back at the screen, confusion crossing his features. "Is there a problem, Ambassador? Did we breach some protocol? We made sure to come in weapons cold, shields down, as a gesture of peace. That's weapons cold," Velko squeaked. "Oh." Understanding dawned on Truce's face. "Oh, I see. You're not used to ships of this size. I apologize, we should have warned you. The Prometheus is actually one of our smaller capital ships. We thought it more appropriate for first contact than sending a fleet." "Smaller fleet." The words rattled around Marjorie's skull. "Captain," she began carefully, "humanity is a peaceful species, yes. Your transmissions spoke of cooperation, of learning from other civilizations." "Absolutely," Truce replied with genuine warmth. "We're thrilled to join the galactic community. We've been alone for so long, and there's so much we want to learn. So much we can share." "Then why," Marjorie continued, her voice barely above a whisper, "does your diplomatic vessel carry enough firepower to sterilize a planet?" Truce's expression shifted, not to aggression or pride, but to something sadder, something ancient. When he spoke again, his voice carried the weight of history. "Ambassador, humans come from a world that has tried to kill us every single day of our existence. Predators, diseases, weather, our own kind Earth has been trying to wipe us out since we climbed down from the trees. We nearly succeeded in destroying ourselves a dozen times. We've faced extinction and clawed our way back. We've stared into the void and decided we were too stubborn to die." He leaned forward, and Marjorie saw it, then the steel beneath the kindness. "We want peace, Ambassador. We want friendship and cooperation more than you can possibly know. But we learned a long time ago that hope is not a strategy. Love is not a defense. We will extend our hand in friendship. Always, but that hand will be strong enough to break anything that tries to harm us or those we protect." Silence filled the Harmony's edge. "We build ships like the Prometheus," Truce continued, "not because we want to use them, but because we never want to be helpless again. Every human alive today is descended from survivors, people who refused to quit, who adapted, who overcame. That's what we bring to the galaxy. Not threats, not conquest, but the absolute certainty that if something needs doing, if someone needs protecting, humanity will be there. And we will not fail." Marjorie stared at the image of the terrifying warship on her auxiliary screen, then back at the gentle-eyed captain on her main display. Slowly, understanding bloomed. The galaxy had grown soft in its peace. But peace, she realized, was not the absence of the capacity for violence. It was the choice not to employ it. Humanity had made that choice, but kept the capacity. "Captain Hawkins," Marjorie said, straightening her uniform on behalf of the Galactic Council, "I officially welcome humanity to the stars. Perhaps you're exactly what we need." Truce smiled. "We're looking forward to working with you, Ambassador. Now, shall we discuss the boring diplomatic stuff? I promise we're much better at paperwork than we are at making first impressions. As the formal talks began, Marjorie caught Velko's eye. The insectoid was trembling, but there was something new in his expression, not just fear, but a strange sort of relief that the galaxy had been safe for so long that they'd forgotten there were still dangers lurking in the dark corners of space. But now, standing behind them, humanity had arrived with its ancient scars and its terrible ships, and for the first time in centuries, the civilizations of the Galactic Council could truly breathe easy, because Earth remembered how to fight.